Hello and welcome to the first and only ever edition of Hamsty Keeper Podcast Special Edition 2017. Fuck you, bitches. It's currently almost midnight, and I don't know if you can see this fucking beautiful ass Yeti. No, that's not a Yeti. It's a blue podcast microphone. Yeah, you're welcome. I'd like to thank Baba for the thanks, Baba, for the refreshments. Appreciate it. All right, we're gonna rank these keepers from 14 all the way up to 1. It's not looking good for a couple of you guys out there. So let's just jump right into the savagery. We really couldn't begin anywhere else but my old pal, my old partner. I paid him off $100 to get old David Johnson in straight cash, homie, and that proved to be the best deal of my life. Right now, my man Richie is keeping Emmanuel Sanders for 15 and Bilal Powell from the infamous New York Jets for 12. So this is potentially, I mean, on paper, these two guys are actually worth more than they're being kept for, but we're talking about a really, like, a Sanders is not someone people are going to be like, oh yes, what a good keeper. He's basically, God, who's that guy even throw to him? I don't even know. This is what it's going to be. It's midnight. I'm doing the warm one take, so he's got some shitty QB thrown to him. I don't even know his name anymore. That's how bad he is. Fuck that guy. And then Bilal Powell. The Jets will be playing from behind in every single game. They are, by every measure, the worst team in football this year. And if you're picking in a Survivor League or against the spread or something, I think the Jets-Patriots game, which is Week 17, is one of them. It's going to be the most, or as long as the Patriots have something to play for, which they may not, but if they do, it'll be the most heavily favored NFL football game of all time. I think it's going to be about 25 point favorites, which I'd have to think that would be all-timer. So keep a lookout for that. Little Clem prediction for the NFL season. You get a little extra on the pod. Okay, so that's the worst team is Richie. Second worst team, this is going to come maybe as a little bit of a shocker, but we're going to go with defending champion Pooch Unts. Wampler's team is coming off a championship, and he's riding high. He had a couple of picks between Ingram, Allen Robinson, and Greg Olsen. He went with Ingram and Greg Olsen, and Ingram is in like a three-headed offense in New Orleans. It's not a great situation for him. They just brought Adrian Peterson in, who, if anyone can steal your fucking job, it's a Hall of Fame running back who beats his fucking kids. So Mark Ingram for 17. I mean, that's definitely pretty good value for a split carry running back, but he's probably going to get 15 carries a game and maybe catch a couple of passes, so don't love that. Secondly, we've got Greg Olsen. I know everyone loves Greg Olsen, but he's being kept for 22 bones. That's just too much for like a great keeper. I mean, the top tight ends in the league are going to go for maybe 25, 30, so it's like you're not really getting that much value there out of Greg Olsen. He's a good player, but for 22, not great keeper value. 13th, Pooch Unts, defending champs. All right, number 12 of the top 14 keepers is Harambe. So he's keeping Brady for 28 and Alshon Jeffrey for 24. And I mean, I like Jeffrey. I think Jeffrey could have a bounce back here. I think Philly's going to throw the ball. So I mean, 24 for that is kind of an upside play. Neither of these guys are, like, again, jumping off the value chart at 28 and 24. That's why we're going with rank 12 on the keeper value, just because while they're good players, they're just costing a bit too much. He's gonna go into the draft basically with 140 bones, and it's hard to throw your weight around in the draft when you're already behind by that much cash. All right, next up, 11th ranked keepers. We've got Giant Douches. Now, Douches always loves to... Okay, so, I don't know. It's kind of weird because he always kind of talks about how shitty his team is during the season. But there's a period of like an hour, between 1 hour right after the draft and like 4 days right after the draft, in between the first game of the season, where Count just loves his team and just asks everyone to just look at his team. So let's look at his team. Let's look at his options. Last year, he had Jamal Charles on his roster the whole season. Matt Forte on his roster the whole season. We kept Randall Cobb last year at $24, so that was an interesting play. Just don't ever listen to Count when he says he has a good team, because he never does. Basically, I think he should have kept Crabtree instead of Jamison Crowder, but his two keepers were Ty Montgomery and Jamison Crowder. Montgomery for 10 because he went undrafted. He got that undrafted tax. Oh, both these guys went undrafted. So Jamison and Montgomery both for 10. Bunch of undrafted scrubs trying to make their way in the world. Jamison, I think he'll get a lot of action in Washington, but the real star of that team is going to be Terrell Pryor Sr. And Ty Montgomery, I mean, he's all right. Green Bay running backs are never insane. Aaron Rodgers and that passing attack is what carries that team. So, I don't know. Montgomery for 10 is definitely good value. I mean, he's probably going on the open market for over 30, so that's why he's 11th ranked keeper. Nothing to write home about, but respectable. He kind of walked backwards in Montgomery. I don't know how he picks that guy up. All right, well, we'll see here. We'll see how the season plays out. Hopefully, Count has a good draft. Okay, Vinny is our 10th ranked keeper. He's going with Isaiah Crowell, who I think actually is a lot higher ranked for the 10th overall team for the keeper value. However, Crowell is being dragged down. I mean, Crowell probably on his own. I think Crowell and the Cleveland run attack is going to surprise a lot of people this year. I think their offensive line is elite. You heard me. Hashtag elite. PJ Fleck. What up, baby? I'm a fucking rube. All right, let's go. Crowell is going to be a very good value. He'll be a keeper next year for Vin. He is going to be awesome. However, the second keeper was Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott. Undrafted, so he's going to be kept for $10. Now, the other two guys in front of Dak, which I would have rather seen Vinny keep, would have been either Kyle Rudolph, which probably not a great option, but then his old boy, Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde's got a new coach, new offensive coordinator. They got a new general manager. They got like a whole new squad up there over there in San Francisco, and I think that he's the man, and he's going to be like a feature back out of that offense. It's going to be a little bit improved from last year, and if they have a good O-line, that Hyde will thrive. So yeah, very missed opportunity. Dak Prescott for 10. I think Dallas is a lock for an under on the over-under bet this year. They have kind of a depleted defense. They don't have Zeke for 6 games. They're starting to get some injuries. And Dak, I think, is due to have a regression type year. He's going to go through that sophomore slump that most QBs go on, and I think Dallas is going to miss the playoffs and probably finish around 8 wins. And Dak will probably be dropped by week 6. That's what I'm going with. And we all know Vinny's going to draft DeShone Kizer. So, and I think Kizer will actually... Okay, here's a bold prediction. Kizer will outscore Dak Prescott this year. Boom! Take that to the bank. All right. 9th ranked keepers this year. Respectwood going with DeMarco Murray as the lone keeper at 26. Murray's the feature back in a Tennessee offense. It's much improved. They got a lot of upside this year. Murray is the man. He is not splitting carries like you would think with that kid they drafted. I don't even know his name. fucking Alabama Henry kid. Yeah, this is Murray's team, and for 31 bones, that's a hell of a deal. So even all alone. And this will be the first year without Gronk, who was on the block for 45. So I definitely think it'll be interesting to see where Gronk goes this year, and if he goes for less than 45, which I think he will. All right, number 8 team on the keeper rankings is the Taints. My favorite team, the Taints. They kind of, I don't know, Mike Gillislee, who I think they drafted because Lamar, or who's that? The Buffalo running back. This is good for me. I can't even know people's names, even though this guy's like a good running back. Shady McCoy. When Shady McCoy got hurt last year, I think these guys grabbed Gillislee and just happened to have him on their roster at the end of the year. And lo and behold, he's going to be the feature back in New England. But even at $10, he's going for around 30 in the open market, so that's good value. But you can really never trust a New England running back, in my opinion. They're the only 2 locks on that team are Brady and Gronk, and if Gronk's not even healthy, then it's just Brady. So you can't really count on any running back, any wide receiver, anybody really on that squad to like be a consistent producer, especially running backs. So Gillislee for 10 is good value, but we never know how the tides will turn. He might have a 40-point game and then a 2-point game the next week. So, and then the second pick is Lamar Miller for 27. Again, 27 for a starting running back who doesn't really have any competition in the backfield is definitely an obvious keeper option. But Lamar Miller is not a good running back. I think I saw the stat that he's the least efficient high-volume running back in the league. And if you just watch a couple of games of Lamar Miller, you'd know exactly what I'm talking about. So overall, 8th ranked keepers for the Taints. It's about mid to low pack. Let's go. Let's find the 7th ranked team here. 7th ranked team. Mudbutt. These 2 guys, I think, are going to have bigger years than what their values were last year. So Todd Gurley for 30 and Terrell Pryor Sr. for 10. So Terrell Pryor went undrafted. I actually looked up Pryor because I was intrigued with him and his arc. Obviously, he was playing QB in college at Ohio State and then got drafted in the 3rd round as a QB, I think, by Oakland. And then he went to like 4 different teams, ended up basically telling his agent that he's going to be out of the league unless he makes a position change. Now, this guy's 6'4", 230 pounds. He basically shedded some weight, added some speed, and I think, for the Browns, basically said, like, all right, I'll play some wide out for you. Ended up being, like, a legit fucking talent and signed a 1-year deal with Washington this offseason for about $8 million. How about this? I'm like a fucking real sports podcaster. Suck on that, bitches. Oh, shit. I should dunk my nuts in this fucking microphone. All right. So he is on a 1-year deal with Washington, probably the number 1 option in a Kirk Cousins offense that likes to chuck it deep. So I actually really like Pryor this year to have a big season. I think he could be definitely a wide receiver 1. And then I think Todd Gurley for 30 is going to be a much improved player from his traction last year. That offense is going to have some other talent around it, including now Sammy Watkins. So another year for Jared Goff, a little bit of improvement around that in that offense. It's going to open up some holes for Gurley, and he's going to get back on the RB1 train. I think he'll be like RB 7 to 10 this year, which is definitely worth $30 for a keeper spot. All right, 6th ranked keeper team this season is Baba, the lone Baba Ganoush, keeping Jay Ajayi for 12 bones. So $12 for Jay Ajayi, who had a couple of 200-yard games last season, is definitely good value. Now, I know the running back position is one that turns over a lot, but Jay Ajayi is going to get all the touches in that offense. And I think Jay Cutler is going to do enough to like keep them respectable, although they could be playing from behind a lot. So Ajayi's value might go down a bit compared to what he was running last year with Tannehill in that offense. But for $12, he's getting drafted, I think, around 50. So obvious no-brainer keeper. Very nice value. About $35 of savings there for Baba by my estimation of Yahoo Drafts. Okay, the 5th-ranked keepers in the league are going to go to Fat Face QB, Gary's team. That'll be Melvin Gordon for 36 and Devonta Freeman for 31. Now, Gordon it's interesting. You can Google Melvin Gordon fantasy and find 10 articles that say he's a lock as like a top 5 RB, and then you can find another 10 articles that say he's going to be a huge bust. Do not draft him. He's going to get hurt. He's got his team sucks, blah, blah, blah. So honestly, I think based on last year, what he did last year, and that offense is going to be a pretty good humming machine that he's going to score. He's not going to be unbelievable or anything, but he's just going to be kind of ho-hum, scoring about 12 points a game. So Melvin Gordon for 36 is sweet. Devonta Freeman for 31, I think, is even sweeter. So those are 2 really sound running backs. Jerry's got a solid core to his team and can go out and draft all the other skill position players that he needs and know that he has 2 guys locked down for this season that'll carry his squad. So excellent keepers. Number 5 ranked by Jerry, Fat Face QB. Number 4, let's see. Number 4 for like the 30 for 30. Wait, what was that show where they did it? It's like ESPN. It was on like ESPN News all the time. Number 1. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Maybe someone out there knows. Call in if you can. 651-249-6383. 320-5326. If you want to call in directly. 1-800-320-5326 is the 1-800 number for the podcast studio. So give me a buzz. Be answering live questions here in a bit too. So stick around. Number 4 ranked team is yours truly. Sole keeper David Johnson for $11. Probably the best overall individual keeper in the whole population. I think he's going for around 60, so that's about $50 of savings, which again is just so rare and it's so valuable that I thought about a couple of trades this offseason and some that it would have even netted about the same or even more keeper value, but I couldn't just depart with that dude, man. He's just too valuable at that low of price to trade away. So so that gives me the number 4 spot. I looked at a couple other guys worth keeping, like Tyrell Williams for 10, and just did not interest me. Spencer Ware was on the block, and then he is out for the year now, so that was cool. And definitely don't want to keep anyone else on that squad. So yeah, that'll be it. We'll see. I was gonna keep Zeke, but then fucking Zeke got his ass beat. So all right, the number 3 ranked team, Winnie Bells. Odell Beckham Jr. for 16 and Doug Baldwin for 15. Those are some serious wide receivers. I don't know how Weenie got Odell Beckham Jr., but that was a couple years ago. Just snaky. Fucker's snaky, man. Kevin is just this. He comes in, he doesn't think. It's like he comes to the draft unprepared, doesn't really understand what he's doing, and then just goes out there and rapes. So Weenie Bells, man, number 3 ranked team, Odell Beckham Jr. A lot of people have him ranked the number 1 player overall. He's going to go just absolutely nuts this year because there's so many wide receivers and so much talent in the passing attack on the Giants, and so they can't double team him, and people think he's going to go crazy. So $16 for Odell Beckham Jr. Definitely unbelievable talent, unbelievable keepers, a great wide receiving core by Weenie Bells. We'll see how he fills out his running backs this year. Let's see. The number 2 ranked keeper is going to go to This one was really tight between 1 and 2. Between Turds and TGI Floyd, the number 2 ranked team. TGI Floyd Pambrose' team, and TGI Finley. These guys kept Michael Thomas for 7, which is a huge value, and Jordy Nelson for 15. Both those guys are going to go for around 45 or 50, which is very, very, very nice. Obviously, their combined totals were unbelievable. However, Thomas is off of a unbelievable rookie season in a really high-powered offense, but it's still, you never know. Those one-hit wonder guys who come and go, especially at wide receiver, you just don't know. Now they're going to get more attention. They're going to get week 1, Saints are at Minnesota, so Michael Thomas is going to get Xavier Rhodes shadow coverage. I mean, he's going to be all over him all night. So let's see how Michael Thomas does with the number 1 cornerbacks in the league following him now instead of, number 2 and number 3 guys. And then Jordy Nelson is for 15 in a great offense in Green Bay, but he's coming off of ACL tear, a couple years ago. He's on the wrong side of 30, and I don't know, there's a little bit of injury risk there. So that's why we had Floyd ranked 2, and obviously the number 1 ranked keepers this year would be Turd Sandys. Turd Sandys are going with Jordan Howard for 6 and Le'Veon Bell for 33, which both those guys are top 5 running backs this year. So they're just going to destroy this fucking league again. Turds are going to be tough to beat with those 2 guys. So we'll see how they round out their squad. They're going to probably go after a big wide receiver. They're probably going to see if they can go get Mike Evans again, or Julio. A lot of big wide receivers are going to be out there this year. Antonio Brown. So it's going to be an interesting draft. I like not having any more than 2 keepers. I know the guys who have a lot of keeper options, especially like Turds, would love to keep Mike Evans for 29. But that's the way things go, man. When the Survey Monkey speaks, you listen. All right, this has been a little special podcast edition of Hamsty Keepers Rankings 2017. See you boys in tomorrow. It's after 12, so it's actually Saturday. So I'll see you bitches tomorrow. Peace.